What's happening, guys? As you know, we're about a week away from Halloween, which means it's Hollow Week. That's why I'm in costume, as you could tell, but I'll always be a Leaf fan at heart, so maybe I'm not in costume. Either way, today we're going to be going over the top 10 most notorious urban legends. Now, some of these are hard to believe, while others, well, I'm not so sure if they're made up or real stories. And if you have trouble sleeping tonight, well, I'm sorry, but imagine how I feel. I had to do a ton of research into all these, so I know much more than I should. But let's start it off like we always do at number 10. Number 10 is alligators in the sewer. This urban legend has been around since the late 1920s and has no truth at all. The story is that tourists who travel to Florida and return home, specifically to New York City in most cases, bring with them a baby alligator. As a baby, the tiny little thing is cute and harmless, but as it gets bigger and bigger, it was unsafe to keep as a pet. So like anything you don't want, it was believed that the owners of these pet alligators would just flush their little buddies down the toilet. The alligators would then grow up in the sewers and terrorize anyone who would disturb them, including city workers. There's never been a case of an alligator in a sewer in New York. However, back in August of 2010, New Yorkers did find a 2-foot alligator in the streets. It was a baby at the time, and no one was able to confirm whether or not the gator came from the sewer, but I'm gonna say it's highly unlikely. Especially at only 2 feet long and its small size, I'm sure a group of rats would be able to kill it if they worked together. Number 9 is the dead boyfriend. This already sounds pretty scary, huh? The story is that a boyfriend and a girlfriend drive out to a secluded area so they can make out where no one would see them. When they're done making out, I don't know when you decide you've made out enough and it's time to go home, but regardless, the boyfriend tells his girlfriend he'll be right back. Most stories say he either has to pee or wants to have a cigarette. After about 5 minutes of waiting for him, the girl gets out of the car to look for him and sees a shadowy figure moving towards the car. Out of fear, she gets into the driver's seat and locks the door, but starts hearing a squeaking sound. After a few squeaks, the girl gets so scared that she actually drives off without her boyfriend, but can't go anywhere because someone tied the bumper of her car to a tree. Upon flooring the gas, she hears a scream and gets out of the car to see her boyfriend hanging from a tree. The squeaking turned out to be his shoes on the roof of the car. Moving into number 8 is the vanishing hitchhiker. This is the story of a young couple who pick up a young-looking hitchhiker on the way to their destination one night on a very dark and winding road. Guess that helps make the story a little scarier. Either way, upon picking up the hitchhiker, which is usually a girl, but that doesn't really matter much, the couple is told to drop her off at a house just up the road where she lives. Upon arriving at the house and pulling into the driveway, the couple turns around to find the young hitchhiker to be completely gone, just vanished into thin air. When they knock on the door of the house that was claimed to be the hitchhiker's, the parents of the young girl, or boy, open the door and explain that the young girl, or boy, died on the same road the couple claimed to pick her up 5 years ago in a hit and run. Again, the number of years can change, but still pretty creepy stuff. The story goes on to say that the ghost of the girl is trying to find the person that murdered her. She died in a hit and run and the driver was never found, so the story says that the ghost is still trying to find her murderer. Number 7, humans can lick too. Sounds creepy? Well, it definitely is. This is the story of a young child who was given a dog as a present to keep her company while her parents are away on vacation. One night while the child is sleeping, she hears a drip sound that suddenly wakes her up. She goes to the bathroom and tightens the handle of the sink to stop it from dripping. She then decides to go back to bed. Her hand hangs off of the bed and her dog licks it until she wakes back up again to hear a dripping noise. This happens a few times with the girl going to different rooms to try to find the source of this dripping each time. And every time she goes back to bed, her hand hangs off the bed and her dog licks her hand. The final time she gets up to find where the dripping noise is coming from, she opens her closet door and discovers her dog hanging there. On the wall, in what is most likely the dog's blood, a message reads, "Humans can lick too." That story was really uncomfortable. When I'm sleeping, I never let my foot hang off the bed, because humans can lick too. Number 6, the killer in the backseat. This one is super creepy because, although it's not true, similar incidents aren't unheard of. A woman is out one night either with friends or on a date, and she gets back to her car and starts driving on a secluded highway. She notices a car driving very close to her but not passing her. As she's about to pass her, he swerves back behind her and flashes his brights. The woman tries to focus on the road and just getting home instead of the aggressive driver behind her, and when she finally does get to her exit, she notices the car behind her is still following her. As she makes some turns and runs some stoplights and stop signs, eventually getting home and pulling into her driveway, the same car is following her the whole way, so she decides to run to her front door and call the cops. As she's running out of her car, the man in the car behind her tells her to get in the house, lock the door, and call the cops. When the cops arrived, it came to light the man following her actually saved her life. When he pulled behind her, he saw a silhouette of a man with a butcher knife in her back seat, and when he flashed his brights to get the driver's attention, the figure behind her crouched down not to be seen by the woman. Although the story isn't true, there have been stories of robberies and assaults similar to this, so I guess the moral of the story is always lock your doors and look behind you in case there's a killer with a butcher knife or a robber. Number 5 has been referenced in movies, TV shows, and songs. The kidney heist is the short name, but you guys may know of it as something a little different. This is the story of someone drinking alone at the bar, usually on a business trip, who befriends a total stranger. After having some good conversation and a few drinks, the victim wakes up the next morning in a bathtub full of ice. Some versions of the story say the victim goes to the hospital with terrible lower back pain to find out their kidney has been removed, while others will actually just look in the mirror and simply see stitches where their kidneys would be. The conclusion of the story is always that someone, somehow, removed the victim's kidneys to sell them on the black market, and it's always done in a professional manner. So this person isn't gonna die, and they have a perfectly sewn up patch on their back. It's kind of weird, but not necessarily true. There haven't been any claims or reports of this ever actually happening, although there have been a lot of hoax and pranks about it. Number 4 is similar to a previous story, but slightly different. Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light? This is a story of a girl and a roommate that are two different types of people. The roommate is the bookworm type that would rather stay in studying on a Saturday night, whereas the girl is a party animal who likes to go out and have a good time. This is the exact situation one Saturday night, and upon returning late at night, the girl who went out to party decides to get right into bed, assuming her roommate is sleeping. The next morning, she wakes up to find her roommate slaughtered with a message on the wall written in blood that reads, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light?" Now we're now to the top 3 most notorious urban legends. These aren't necessarily the scariest or most believable, but the most talked about for sure. So let me introduce you to number 3, The Man and the Babysitter. This story has been turned into a movie and is just really an unsettling story. A couple hire a teenage babysitter to watch their kids as they go out for dinner. The parents already put the children to sleep, so the babysitter doesn't have much work to do and can focus on her schoolwork. While she's working away, she gets a call and the voice on the other end of the phone asks, "Have you checked the children?" and then hangs up. At first she thinks maybe it's her boyfriend or just a friend playing a prank, or even the parents asking if their kids are okay. After a few more phone calls asking about the children in the same creepy voice, she gets scared and calls 911. They claim it's a prank and it's nothing to worry about, but more calls come in and eventually the dispatcher tells the babysitter they'll trace the call if the man calls back again. Finally she gets a call and the man who repeatedly asked her, "Have you checked the children?" switches it up and says, "Why haven't you checked the children?" This is implying that he could see her, which is just bad. The next call she gets is from a dispatcher who tells the babysitter the call was traced from inside the house and to get out. Upon opening the front door, she runs into a policeman who has his gun drawn. The police then enter the house to find a man covered in blood and 3 dead children. Like, I don't know how I slept last night. Number 2 is the story of Bloody Mary. This urban legend says if you look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times, her ghost will appear behind you and will kill you. Well, that's one of the versions. Other versions say she'll rip your eyes out, choke you, pretty much anything you wouldn't want to happen to you. The story of Mary is that she was just a young woman that people claimed to be possessed or a witch, and because of this was executed. Now whenever someone says her name 3 times in a mirror, her ghost comes back to haunt them. Another version says that Mary was involved in a horrific accident and wasn't allowed to be seen or even see her own reflection. Either way, it's not something I'm gonna try anytime soon. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Down to number 1, what is the most notorious urban legend? Well, it's none other than the Slender Man. The story of the Slender Man is a white figure with abnormally long limbs, no face, and a black suit that hunts children. He lives in the woods and has been compared to a modern day boogeyman. There was even a game made about him, which is what really gave him his rise to fame. The story is that those that are attacked by the Slender Man are left paralyzed if they look at him right in the face or lack thereof. Other stories say that the Slender Man is known to be near you if you start having nightmares about him. I will say I've played the game and I will never do so again. The really scary part is 2 girls actually tried to kill their friend because the Slender Man told them to do so. They were arrested and I believe are currently in custody, but still, that's pretty messed up. Well, there you have it, guys, the top 10 most notorious urban legends. Just in time for Halloween. Let me know your thoughts on the stories I told and if you think any of them are real. Did your favorite one make the list? Let me know in the comments down below, but you gotta leave a question or a thought or even a comment so I can answer it in our next video. I hope you liked this one, and if you did, give us a thumbs up. Remember guys, always lock your doors, don't look into mirrors, check your surroundings, and stay spooky. Happy Halloween, guys.